Your subconscious or unconscious mind is coded to protect you from anything unfamiliar. And the reason why it does this is because I've never walked into a billionaire's house and seen a magnet on their fridge that says, I love money and money loves me, and I download some ridiculous codes or something. It's just not what happens. By creating a life you love, by creating a business you love, by stepping forward into an end result and becoming that person who can create that, your reality proves to you that you're able to do those things, which gives you confidence. I'm Duncan, and this is Self-Made Millionaire. If you've done all the courses, meditated, journaled, healed your inner child, but are still feeling stuck, you're not alone. After helping thousands of driven entrepreneurs like you, I discovered the real shift isn't in fixing yourself. It's in creating from your superconscious. This podcast will help you to break the loop, stop oscillating, and finally build a business that gives you time, wealth, and true freedom without burning out. Let's dive in. If you don't have self-doubt, your goals aren't big enough. Many people are wanting to remove self-doubt or feel like an imposter. But the truth is, if you didn't have self-doubt, if you didn't feel like an imposter and you were going for things you've never done before, if you didn't have it, you'd actually be a bit of a psychopath. The amount of times I see gurus out there letting you know that you're going to get rid of all your fears or worries or doubts, and people buy into that. But if you actually consider it, imagine a human being without fears or worries or doubts. Like, what is that, a robot? It's crazy to think that that's something we aspire to be. In fact, in the 1960s, they tested it. They did a frontal lobotomy, and they removed the part of the brain where a person's emotional center was. And what they found is this person couldn't make any decisions at all. They thought that this person would become this amazing analytical business mind, but the truth that happened was they couldn't even make a simple decision about what clothes to wear because we need emotion to make decision. So we need to remove this idea that self-doubt, worry, or insecurity is a problem. What you must understand is that it's part of the human experience and that you can create without it. I remember years ago in a business, I was making money, but inside I had this self-doubt and I thought it was a problem. Every decision felt heavy. I was second guessing everything. And one day I was sitting across from a billionaire office and he looked me dead in the eye and he said, Chris, the way you're thinking is the reason you're stuck. He said to me that he still has insecurities. And I couldn't believe it. How could this, this 50-something billionaire, fit, healthy, great kids, how could he still have insecurities? I mean, I looked up to him and I thought, this guy has everything I want. He must just wake up in the morning and feel top of the world. And when he explained to me that he didn't, and that he wasn't trying to change it, and that he was happy to just ride the wave of the human experience, in that moment I realized that my problem wasn't strategy, it wasn't marketing, it wasn't effort, and it definitely wasn't trying to fix self-doubt. My problem was structure. I realized that most of us are in this wrong structure. We're actually running our business from this protective structure where we are trying to be a certain way, trying to fix problems, avoid risk, and stay safe. But that structure produces self-doubt by design. And how it does this is really fascinating. Your subconscious or unconscious mind is coded to protect you from anything unfamiliar. And the reason why it does this is because it wants to do one thing in life, which is to keep you alive, to keep you surviving this experience we call the human experience. So it looks at anything in the past and it goes, let's repeat that. The unconscious wants to repeat anything it's already done in the past because it knows it won't die from it, which is really fascinating, which is why it gives you these feelings of self-doubt, or worry, or the imposter syndrome when you're going to go do something new, something unfamiliar. So when you say you want freedom and income, when you say that you want that, there's a part of you protecting yourself from that for no good reason other than you've never experienced it before. And so the day that I made the shift, I shifted into what I now call the creative structure and built the superconscious recode around this idea. The creative structure, whereas instead of trying to protect, you focus with a different part of your mind, you create. But here's the catch. You create what you want without changing anything about how you are. And by creating what you want, you do become someone different, which doesn't make sense. So let me explain it a different way, right? By creating a life you love, by creating a business you love, by stepping forward into an end result and becoming that person who can create that, your reality proves to you that you're able to do those things, which gives you confidence. If you sit over here trying to have confidence and have no self-doubt without any proof, you're obviously lying to yourself. See, it takes you taking action. Think about a small child walking up and wanting to dive off the highest diving board, right? They don't know they can do it at the beginning. That's the same as you. You don't know that you can do it. And so they get to the side of the ladder and they start climbing up and they're shaking and they're scared and they're worried. And as they go up, they have self-doubt. They feel uncertain. They don't feel they can do it. They get up to the top and their parents are egging them on. They're saying, you can do it. It's going to be fun. They've watched the other kids do it. They get to the top. They're holding on to the side. They're freaking out, but you know what they do? They overcome it. They jump off. And once they've done it once or they've slid down that slide once, now they are it. Now they are confident and they can go do it again. And that's the same as you. Could you imagine trying to get rid of self-doubt and imposter syndrome by standing at the bottom of the slide? It can't happen. So what you must do is, in spite of those feelings, in spite of your unconscious stopping you, you must still use the 5 steps to create a new end result, and this new end result will prove to you in different ways. By not trying to change who you are, you create a life that proves who you've become. So there are 5 steps to eliminate self-doubt, right? And it's eliminate it because it's creating the reality that you believe. There are so many misguided concepts out there about fixing the way you need to be in order to create what you love. I'll give you a couple examples. Have you ever heard of the idea, if you think you can or think you can't, you're right? You've heard that, right? Like, you would have heard that. That makes sense. But if you actually think about it, that's an absolutely ridiculous statement, okay? Many times I've thought that I could do something and I can't. I actually can't do it, okay? And there's many times where I don't think I can do another one and I can, like when I'm at the gym. I don't think I can do another one. My personal trainer says, do one more, and I can. You see that? And many times I go, oh, I think I can go and do that, right? Especially at golf. I always think I can hit a golf shot and I definitely cannot. And so thinking I can or thinking I can't is just what I think. It has nothing to do with my skill. It has nothing to do with anything. But you see how that statement, that pop psychology BS, that belief system can have us so misguided. If you think you can, you think you can't. It sounds right. And it leads you down this path of your thinking. No, the truth is that if you think you can or think you can't, that's just what you think. Another thing is, if you believe it, you'll see it. I mean, this just doesn't hold up in reality, right? You believe it, you'll see it. No, you won't. If you believe it, that's what you believe. There's so many things that people believe, they don't ever see it. I meet them all the time. They're sitting out there in Bali, they believe abundance is coming to them. They share the thing on Instagram. Share this to 5 people and abundance will flow your way. Do you remember that? You know, I used to get these email chains back in early 2000s. It'd be like, share this to 10 people and good luck will come to you. And they believe it doesn't happen, right? People believe they've picked the right numbers in lottery, but it doesn't. So believing it doesn't mean that you'll see it. And so consistently, we're bombarded with all of these ideas that just don't hold true. Real quick, if you're a driven entrepreneur who's done all the work but still feels stuck, or like you're oscillating between progress and burnout, I've got something really powerful for you. I'm running a live training where I'll show you how to unlock your superconscious so you can finally create the freedom, wealth, and impact you're here for. Hit the link in the show notes to save your spot. And now, back to the episode. And another thing that we're told is that the way we feel is going to manifest end results. Like if we're in gratitude of something, then it's going to pull it in somehow mysteriously from the universe. We're going to magically attract it in. I don't know about you, but many times I felt grateful and I still don't have that $1 billion in my bank account. It doesn't matter how many times I actually sit there and think I feel so grateful and happy and content. It doesn't work that way. I've never walked into a billionaire's house and seen a magnet on their fridge that says, I love money and money loves me, and I download some ridiculous codes or something. That it's just not what happens. There's no way you need to be in order to create what you want. You can be any way you choose, and we see it out there with all successful people. So here's what you need to do if you want to create a reality that has what you want without needing to fix this idea of self-doubt. The first step is you must choose the true end result. When you get pure intention with what you want, the money, the freedom, the lifestyle, the relationship, the home, the house, you get pure intent with it, you create a structure in the field. Now, this is very important. Many people don't get their true end result right. Many people try to justify it, or they try to work it out. It's very difficult. If I ask you, what is it that you'd like to create? You'd say, oh, maybe I'd like to make some more money, or this or that. But most of the time, you don't just say what you want just for that. It is so crucial to get pure intent and a clear, true end result. You couldn't imagine how many people I've worked with, and I say, what do you want? What would you like to create? And they cannot answer that first question. The mistakes they make is they try to resolve something that's wrong with them. They try to be a certain way, or they try to create something and then give it away to everybody else. It's never true. The second thing you must do is to create a structural tension. Now, that's a very complex word, so let me pull it apart. Okay, it was actually first created by a guy named Robert Fritz, who understood that tension holds everything together in the world. Like your body is in a tension and a structure. That's how it's held up. Create a flowing structure. Most of you don't realize that the structures in your life is what creates your reality. It's not you. So think about it this way. A river going down a hill flows in alignment of its riverbed, okay? You would never try to change the flow of the water. You just change the riverbed. You are an energy just like that water. You flow along the underlying structures of your life. If you were to walk into a supermarket, you wouldn't just walk through the walls. You would go however that building is structured. You are a creative energy. The structure determines the flow in your life. You need to create a structure that flows. When you think about the structures in your life, most of the time they're not flowing in the way that you want. So in order to create a flowing structure, after you've got pure intent, the second step is to notice where you are now compared to that and start to build out the underlying grooves in your life. This creates a natural void or a natural pull for you to take the action and flow towards what you want. The third step is to recode any resistance, okay? Now, recode is based on the reconsolidation moment, which was discovered in 2001, where the brain actually consolidates new neurons. Now, the key here, because many people go, but Chris, isn't this just what you've told us not to do, is to fix ourselves? And the answer is, it's exactly what I've told you to do, is you're letting go of who you've been, not fixing it. By doing the first step of clarifying pure intent, what you want. Second step, noticing where you are with the underlying structure. The third is asking your superconscious to resolve every memory, belief, and pattern that makes that goal feel unsafe or impossible. It's creating that structure and letting go of who you've been. Most of it is done through action, by the way, because the highest form of information is action. That small child who walks up and dives off the diving board, through action, they overcame who they were and they created a new identity. And so you learn to overcome who you've been and take that action, which is the fourth step, is to step into the vision, see it, feel it as already done, teach your nervous system that that's who you're going to be, visualize it being successful, and take aligned action. I get a lot of comments from people who are in this work, and because I obviously point out the error in many of the ways of how other people approach this. And it's such a key distinction. The universe abhors a void. And so if you try to get rid of self-doubt or fear, you try to get rid of it, and you walk into, these amazing seminars and you do get rid of something. Now there's a gap. Something else needs to fill it, which is why getting rid of things never works, which is exactly what I was told. Billionaire looks right at me and he stares me in the face and he just says, Chris, it's your thinking. It's your thinking. You just need to create what you love, and you'll be the same imperfect human being with fears and doubts and worries and everything else. You need to create instead of trying to be protective. This is extremely true for entrepreneurs because self-doubt keeps you playing small, trying to fix the way you are. Fears and worries just isn't ever going to work. And if it did, you just turn into some sort of mindless psychopath. And so it just keeps you distracted from the truth. The truth is that when you get into the creative structure and you focus with true intent, you clear the resistance, take bold action, then that is what you manifest in this world. The superconscious work doesn't motivate you. It helps you to get into the right structure so that you can flow to end results. You are not broken. You don't need fixing. There is no certain way that you can think. Instead, you need to tune in to that end result, create the structures, and take action. If you're ready to give up this idea of fixing or healing or change yourself and start running a business from the creative structure, then I would love to show you exactly how to do it. We can do it through a daily process, but it starts with you making a commitment to your end result. So comment recode below and I'll send you across a free training to activate your superconscious, remove resistance, and start creating from your highest mind. If you got value from today's episode, make sure to subscribe so you never miss the real conversations and tools to help you break the cycle so you can create a business and life you actually love. If you're ready for more support, check out the link in the show notes. I'm running a live training where you'll learn how to unlock your superconscious and start scaling with purpose, profit, and peace. And don't forget to follow me on all socials at Chris M. Duncan. Remember, stop solving problems, start creating your future.